Hello and welcome to Columbus Local Podcast. I'm Len D'Amico and this is episode number 80. And today we have a special guest episode. We are supporting the announcements from Kelly Rush, who is the front person and manager of local Columbus, Ohio rock band Phoenix Rising. She's also a pillar of industry in Columbus, Ohio as it relates to local music. And I'm going to let Kelly Rush kind of talk through what this is all about today. Kelly, how are you?
I'm a pillar.
You're a pillar.
I'm a pillar.
A pillar of strength.
Well, we're here for the Central Ohio Women Who Rock.
We are.
And we do have some representatives here with us today. So, like you said, I'm Kelly Rush. We have Nikki Reber from Radio City. We have Beth.
It's good enough.
Beth is back there. And we have Julie Neal.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, Julie.
Representing the group.
The group. And the group is called?
Central Ohio Women Who Rock.
Yes, and they do rock.
We rock.
And there are how many bands in the organization?
I can't even tell you.
Like dozens?
178 girls.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a lot of strength.
It is.
Fantastic. So we have this event that is coming up, Kelly, and I don't want to steal any thunder whatsoever.
Okay.
But if you wouldn't mind, let us know what's happening here.
Okay. I'm going to talk a little bit about the group, how it was formed, and how we ended up choosing the charity for this event. So about a year and a half ago, Nikki and I were together, May of 2023, and we said to ourselves, the ladies of music in Central Ohio need our own place, that we can support each other and be able to be there for each other, learn from each other, all of the above. So in a beauty appointment in my salon, the Central Ohio Women Who Rock was born. So we created a Facebook page back then, and at the time, we initially, sent some invites out to, I don't know, maybe 30, 40, 50 people. Created a Facebook group, and over the past year, it's grown to, like I said, over 170 women. As far as the page itself, we have been there for each other for anything from equipment questions to what kind of shoes do you like to wear to your gigs. We've had monthly get-togethers where we gather whoever can, come on any given night, and we've gone to live band karaoke. We have gone to open mic nights, but in the process of that actual group forming, these amazing friendships have formed, and we always kind of knew from the beginning that we wanted to do some charity work. So last year, I think it has been a whole year, we decided to throw a full-blown charity event, and we chose Choice's Domestic Violence Shelter as our actual charity of choice as the benefactor for our particular, it was our first official charity event, just because of the fact that the camaraderie of the women. We do have some women within the group that have actually been personally helped by Choices. Just a really important organization within the community that we wanted to get behind. A lot of it is because it's a female, it helps a lot of female women that need help in the area. So just decided that was going to be the benefactor of this amazing event.
And the event is called what?
A Night of Charity, presented by the Central Ohio Women Who Rock. It is September 6th at Lazy Chameleon in Powell. We have been raising money for the charity for probably a good 6 months now. So we've raised, at this point, almost $21,000 before we've even gotten to the actual event. A lot of it has just been from sponsorship from businesses that have bought tables at the event. But we also had 62, right, Julie? Mm-hmm. 62 bands in the Central Ohio community that actually gave us $50 or more. that actually contributed to, we've had different waves of fundraising that we have done. So just have been very supported by the music community in Central Ohio, which has been awesome. And we haven't even gotten to the event yet. So we're very excited to get there this week.
That's why I called you the pillar in the community, because it's huge, and I know it's a lot of teamwork, right? There's
Tons
a
of
lot of teamwork
yes.
involved in this particular event, and that the Central Ohio Women That Rock are highly regarded as musicians, but at the same time, I think, as community leadership is concerned, this is a prime example of what's possible, and it's really it's awesome to be able to go to an event like this and see the music, but also this is purposed, right? It's purposed for this charity. It's a charity that is going to make a difference in people's lives, and it's really it's awesome to see this come to fruition. It's almost here.
And it's been kind of amazing just in the past year to see what this group, who started as a small Facebook group, has turned into. We did some kind of major Indian Lake tornado relief too, that kind of happened out of accidental need from a venue that some of the bands play. So I think that this, having the power to be able to be this group and make a difference, has just been amazing. You feel it, you definitely feel it with the group. There's been a lot of emotions and a lot of just, blood, sweat, and tears that are going into this event. Lots of moving parts, a lot of people are involved, and it's just a labor of love from everybody, really.
It is, no doubt about it. So the selection did take place, it sounds like about maybe 6 months ago, for this particular organization, and the name of the organization is
It's Lutheran Social Services Choices Domestic Violence Shelter.
okay. And so we do have the director and I believe
Volunteer and engagement manager.
volunteer and engagement manager. Okay. So Kelly, you want to do the honors in introducing the LS Choices management?
Sure.
I almost jumped the gun.
Yes. So we've been working very closely with Laura the entire time for a while now. Just, bouncing ideas off of her. She's been coming to our meetings, just making sure that we're representing the charity in the way that they would want us to represent them. But it's super fun. She's been at some meetings where we've had some, testimonials from some actual, people that have been benefited by the actual charity. It got a little emotional, but just reinforced why we were doing what we were doing, which is absolutely amazing. So, and then we have Maria, which is the first we have met Maria tonight.
Hello.
She is
Maria.
coming to the event,
Hi.
which we're very excited about.
I am so excited.
We're glad that you're here, and we're glad that you're coming to the event.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me today. And then, yes, I'm very excited to attend the event. I tell all my friends.
Good.
And so I think we're looking forward to just a real fun night.
It will be that,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So Kelly, what is the night going to entail then?
So the event is at Lazy Chameleon in Powell. The way we have it set up, it starts at 6 o'clock. Hopefully the weather will be nice and we will be able to be on the patio at Lazy Chameleon. So we have an acoustic show from 6 to 8, which is going to be, what do you have, Beth? 12 different ladies?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, we have about 12 different women singing 2 sets of songs, total about 24 songs, all over the map, and they're just tremendous singers. They've picked tremendous songs to do. A lot of them are very pointed to this particular event, and we're excited. We had a rehearsal last night with the musicians that are playing, and next week with the girls that are singing, and we can't wait. We just can't wait. We're very excited. So we hope you enjoy what we've selected.
Awesome.
So
And they're all members of the
All
Central
members,
Ohio
all
Women
active
That Rock,
members of
yes,
who rock.
COWWR.
yep.
Nice.
So during the acoustic time period, we're hoping to do a drop-off donation of things that the shelter has requested. And at this time, they've requested personal care items.
Yep.
So because Lazy Chameleon is in kind of the Powell, Dublin area, we're going to be reaching out to moms in the area, different businesses in the area, just people that live in the area. And because it is an earlier time frame, from 6 to 8, just have them be able to just, maybe drop by and drop some things off that we can actually, send to the actual shelter that they need.
Perfect.
And then at 8 o'clock is when we will move everything inside. And then at that point, the full band show starts. So from 8 to 10, Phoenix Rising will be playing. And then from 10:30 to 12:30, Radio City will be playing. During that time, we've got about 17 different singers that will be singing. So the fun thing about this is that we've taken songs that everybody loves, that everybody wants to dance to, and we have made them into duets. We've added harmony, just a very fun environment, where we will be, everybody will be hitting the dance floor at that point. But we do have a silent auction going on in a separate room. So we've had some amazing donations come in for silent auction items that will be raising extra money. We have created merch. So we have the Central Ohio Women Who Rock merch that will be there. So if you buy a t-shirt or a koozie, part of that, cost of that t-shirt is going to be going to the charity. We also are going to be going a 50-50 drawing. So people can participate in that. So not just, we've had a QR code from the charity that we have used for the past few months, so people can make a direct monetary donation to the charity. But we're going to be doing that in addition to all these other fun things that night to raise money. So.
I'm sorry, Beth, what was that?
There'll be a step and repeat.
There will be a photo opportunity
A
moment.
photo opportunity.
Because if you don't take a
moment.
photo, it
didn't happen.
Oh
It
my
didn't
gosh.
happen.
And I think some of the production folks have put together a special backdrop for the event as well. So some of these photos are going to be official photos, right?
Yep.
Official
Yep.
fancy stuff, yeah.
Yep.
There'll be a lot of cover photos changing that week after.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Oh, Facebook cover photos. Gotcha. Absolutely. No, it's going to be a great night of music, but also an opportunity for this charitable event, right? And that's really the whole purpose behind all the music. But maybe we can talk a little bit about the organization, if that's okay. And Dr. Maria Houston Beck,
yeah,
correct?
you got it.
Okay. And our friend
Laura Thompson.
Laura Thompson.
from your perspective, when the Central Ohio Women Who Rock approached you and said, we'd like to propose this event for your organization, what were you guys? What was your first reaction?
Well, I think mine was just like, okay, let's talk. Tell me more. What do you have in mind?
Yeah.
What's your vision? And we're always so grateful for partners who come to us who want to do things and want to particularly boost choices to make sure people know we exist, since we're the only domestic violence shelter in Franklin County. So having groups come in who want to say, okay, what are your mission? What do you need? And how can we help spread that word? I'm always just all ears. Let's talk. What do you want to do?
My colleague, she's the cool, calm, collective one. And when she came and told me about it, I said, yes! So you see the differences.
Sure do. So LSS?
LSS Choices.
Choices is an organization that would be described how?
Yeah, so I'll give a little backstory as well, if that's okay. So Choices has been around since the early 1950s. And so they used to be in a house, I think on Long Street, don't quote me on that, but it was a renovated house that they just kind of had beds and things around. But if you could imagine, it was pretty ran down. I mean, if you flushed a toilet, then, the sink in the kitchen would overflow. So it got to a place where it was really in very poor condition. At the time, they could potentially support about 50 survivors in that house. And also the funding had been cut. And so there were a lot of challenges. So in 2014 is when Choices came under the umbrella of Lutheran Social Services. So some people have an idea of LSS being pillars of the community, just kind of serving vulnerable populations and meeting various needs from our homeless shelters to food pantries. So we have all of those other services under that LSS umbrella. So when Choices came under LSS in 2014, one of the first things they said is we have to get a new building. The integrity of the space was just so poor that people were escaping, danger, but kind of not going to a better situation in a way. And so the community came together, much like yourselves and the organization, and they were able to build a brand new building, the building that we're currently in, and that building opened in 2019. So we went from roughly 50 beds, if you will, to 120. And so last year alone, for our fiscal year, we served 974 people. 974 people came through our door. Now that included adults and children. 54% of that total were in fact children. And we do service women and men. We operate the shelters 24 hours, and we also have a 24-hour crisis hotline. And so also for individuals, they may not need to come into the shelter. Maybe they have a family support or friends, and they can remain in the community safely, but they need an advocate, maybe someone to go to court with them, right? Somebody that can talk the language that gets it, right? So we can connect them with our community-facing case managers and advocates. But so even when they come into our services, right, they're fleeing high lethality, dangerous situations. But so we provide a safe haven, if you will. But we also have taken the approach that once you kind of come in and get connected with us, we really want to look at the whole person. And for us, a lot of times we find women that want to get back into the workforce, looking to get some employment skills, to get their own place and become stable. They have to reroute their children in terms of their education or their daycare. So we have youth advocates on staff that are a liaison between the school systems. In our shelter, we have crisis clinicians. So it's not uncommon for a lot of survivors to self-medicate. So we may see some substance use, some mental health. So we have clinicians on the team. We have a resource center, so there's computers available, all their meals are free, and then we do have some emergency items that we can give residents when they come in. Because sometimes it's not uncommon, they get to that point and they have to leave right now. There's no packing a bag, there's no, let me get my suitcase. They have to go or their life is on the line.
Understood. Yeah. So it's dangerous, and it's a place for safety and guidance.
Yes. And even once they leave our shelter, we still provide support to them up to 6-9 months after they leave us. So we really try to stay connected with individuals. So because the experience can be very traumatic. And we know that for some people, they don't leave the first time, right? It can take several times for a person that's being victimized to leave. And we know that the time that they do leave is the most dangerous time, right? That abuser finds out that you're trying to get up out of there, then that's when the risk really goes up.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a great service, to be aware of in those cases that they're necessary. How long has your organization been in existence?
So Choices, as I mentioned,
Yep.
early 1950s.
Okay.
And so then they came under the umbrella of LSS in 2014. Yep.
2014. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yep. And still moving forward.
Oh, yeah. We're not going anywhere.
No, that's good to hear. No, it's nice to know that it's there.
Yeah. But I'll just say, I know we're still chatting, but I just want to thank you guys truly from the bottom of my heart, from my colleagues, from the survivors. You guys really, I think you have an idea, but you don't really have an idea how impactful this is. I mean, there are women, I knew it got bad. I'll tell a quick little story.
Yeah.
When they called me, because when they're calling after hours, I know it's like an emergency or something, right? But no, we're always kind of on call because danger is not a 9 to 5 kind of thing. But so I get a call and they say, "Hey doc, can you approve someone bringing in a hospital bed?" I said, "Okay, you got to give me more." Because we have the partnership with the hospitals and law enforcement. And so they said a woman was shot in the face and, I think it was the neck area. And so she had to have certain catheters and she needed to be in the medical type of bed. And so in order for her to come into the shelter, this is kind of what was needed. And we said, well, absolutely. So those were things that we saw or we're seeing on almost a regular basis. It's not uncommon for you to be in the dining area and to see someone with black eyes, their children kind of, screaming and, them just trying to keep it together. It's one of those things, it's hard to imagine, but a lot of survivors are dealing with it every day. So your support is so grateful.
So and the folks that you're helping are folks that it seems are all walks of life.
Absolutely.
But are making the choice to leave a situation that's unhealthy. It's dangerous, and they're able to get this assistance through your organization. But there's also physical facilities as well that they're able to utilize as are necessary in various cases. Have you found that people are utilizing you for longer than what's a typical duration that you're working with folks? I guess is really what I'm trying to get to. It's an emotional thing. I'm thinking through
it's a good question.
And trying to get to my question is really.
I know. I think I brought the vibe down. My bad.
No. I mean, it's just the reality of what your services are, and it's really it's something I think that strikes a chord with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, our services are really life or death. I mean, and so we do take it very serious. And so to your question of, is there like a certain amount of time that they can stay? Yes and no. So we only have so much space, but the demand is so high. So a lot of times, especially with the housing market right now, the next thing, if you guys want to build some apartments, that would be great. Any developers out there, let us know, or landlords that are willing to work with us. That's always needed. But so we say kind of 90 days, we kind of assess people on an individual basis because everyone's situation is different, right? And if you take a look at the Columbus landscape, people are moving here every day, all day, and the number of immigrants and refugees coming to our city, we're seeing a large influx of those individuals coming to our services, and sometimes they're undocumented. We have one of the best success stories. We had a woman, she was an immigrant, but she was a nurse in her country, but her abuser kind of took all her documents. She simply had nothing. She spent 26 months in our shelter. She was able to get her green card and other documentation, and then she actually started working over at our health center, the LSS Health Center, and she eventually was able to get her license and kind of verified. And so we just learned that she got a job at one of the local hospitals and has an apartment, I think a cat, and she's moving on with her life. Mm-hmm. But so it really varies. We have some people that come in, it's just they need to get away for, a couple of nights. And others we see that are there for extended periods of time just because of the barriers that they may have.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So case by case.
Case by case.
Assessing along the way.
Yeah.
What we have realized with our group is there's a few individuals that have been directly affected in a positive way from this charity. There's a one in particular that Nikki and I are friends with that approached me one night and said, I just want to let you know, thank you so much for doing this. This organization helped me get back on my feet. We had a meeting, was it last month? And she's going to be a speaker for us. And she wanted to practice her speech at the meeting. And the whole room was in tears.
Yeah, we wept.
Including Laura, who
Yeah.
works at the shelter. Because what you guys did for her
Wow.
literally saved her life.
Wow.
And I mean, it gave a lot of meaning to what we are doing because these are people that we know. These are people that we interact with every day. And we don't realize that you guys literally saved her in so many ways that she's so thankful for.
Yeah.
But it, just not that we needed any affirmation about this, but it's unbelievable.
It's one of those things where domestic violence doesn't discriminate.
No.
Right? And sometimes you have no idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I think just bringing awareness to the fact that you guys are there,
Yes.
because of the fact that we're in bands and we have a reach of so many people, just being able to blast this on our pages for the bands and just letting people know that you're there. You never know who might pick up the phone and need to call that number someday.
Yep.
And there's a real need. I mean, it's a business, and that is always, reaching and helping others in these situations. So the charity, I think, aspect of this is going to be definitely, a welcome situation. Nikki, you want to say something here?
I was just going to say, as we were talking about people in the community that have been positively impacted by Choices, I was out on the Choices Facebook page looking for some content to share because we're trying to share as much as we can. And I saw a face of someone that I knew who had been on sharing. She has a TikTok page where she shares domestic violence awareness. And I reached out to her and asked if she would speak at our event. So she was more than honored to do that, but because she says that's her calling in life, is to be able to share her experience and how she was helped. And so, yeah, it's probably closer than we all think.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Julie, any remarks? Any
Come on up here,
any
Julie.
thoughts that you have, Julie Neal?
Yeah, I just want to say this has been, I think, for all of us an unraveling experience. You think, okay, well, let's do some charity work. Let's put our time and energy to something that's meaningful. And then you peel back the onion and you peel back all these layers. And then I guess what I want to say to everybody out there listening is we need you. We need you to come to this event. And I promise you, everything that you give, you will get back tenfold. Mm-hmm. We are all meant to be connected, and we're woven together, and music weaves so much of us together. And like that definitely has been a bond for our group, our Women Who Rock. But let us weave you into this, because I promise it will change you. So we need you to come out. We need you to support. We need you to spread the message of choices for victims of domestic violence and what they do. And everything that you give, you will get back.
Thank you for that.
That's great.
Beth Newsom Cronenweth.
It's hard to top that, but I would totally agree. And you know, we have an outlet in music, and I think a lot of us are appreciative of that. And you know, we've all been in situations that, in varying degrees, have we've been touched by what Choices helps with. And we're fortunate that we have this outlet of music, and to be able to give back through the outlet that we've used to cleanse us or whatever of anything that we have going on. And not everybody has that, and to be able to share that as a way to help an organization that's doing such great stuff is it's a blessing. It's a blessing. The blessing is ours. So thank you for letting us share with you.
Yes.
Thank you. We always say we're not in this work alone, and it's people like you and your organization that help.
Yes. Yes. I think everyone has.
One more thing too.
Yeah, Julie.
There's been many times too where I've called Kelly and Nikki and Beth and have been in tears with the support that the Columbus music community has given. Oh my gosh, you put something in front of them and they wanted to help. So just thank you to this incredible music community that we have in Columbus, Ohio.
Amen to that.
Yeah, that's good.
You
That's a
guys
good
rock.
point.
Yes.
Well, the problem that we're having right now is some of us have to sing some emotional songs at the show, and we're mentally preparing ourselves for doing that without crying, because we really do, like, we feel this
Yeah.
in our hearts for sure.
Yeah.
Tears aren't
Absolutely.
always bad sometimes.
But when
Yeah,
you have to
that's mine.
sing and keep it together,
You're
then maybe-
allowed. You're allowed to be emotional. There's nothing wrong with that.
I remember they
Don't deny your feelings.
the
That's
old
what I
people in church
say.
be like, take your time, baby.
we might need you sitting there, like
Okay,
doing
all
that.
right.
So.
I got you. I got you. Yeah.
I guess it depends on the drummer.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, are you the drummer?
No.
No.
Drummers out there.
Okay. Okay.
No, JP will be fine. JP's good. He's a good drummer. It's all good.
Is he gonna cry too?
He doesn't even smile.
No.
He might that night.
Machine.
He may that night.
He will. No,
It's been
we've seen
interesting.
we've seen pictures of JP smiling. It's a real thing.
Picking these songs, and just really looking at the songs. Like, we knew we would pick some songs purposely because
Give
of
me
this.
one song title.
So, like, I have to sing Concrete Angel by Martina McBride. Yeah.
Teaser
Yeah.
alert.
Yeah.
Come
And
to
Nick-
the event.
And Nikki and I are singing Independence Day by Martina McBride.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are picking some heavy hitters.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The crying might happen.
There'll be so much music though. It's gonna be.
Oh, there's- yeah.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be.
I mean, it's gonna be fun. It's definitely
really
gonna be
a
fun.
event, but also a very purposed event.
Yeah.
And so everything was well said today for this episode. Is there anything else that you'd like to convey about the organization, LS Choices, that we didn't touch on?
Anything else? Oh, did we say the number?
The number.
Our crisis hotline. So I guess it's one of those things, if you guys are listening today, it may not be you, but it may be someone that you know. And so we just ask that you have them reach out to us.
Well, before we go there,
Okay.
let's define the service area. Like, are there limitations to the geographic location, given that this will be heard all over, the planet, basically?
Oh, well,
So, are you confined to a geographic area necessarily?
not necessarily. We have had instances where the wives of law enforcement officers were victims, and in different counties and cities, and so they couldn't go to their local domestic violence center, and so we get those calls like, hey.
But generally speaking, we're talking about the Columbus, Ohio
Columbus,
area?
Ohio.
Okay.
Now, if you're
Okay.
over in, like Bahamas or something, I don't know if we can send the Uber.
European
You might have to do a
listeners-
personal visit, though.
Yes.
European listeners won't be able to leverage this particular situation.
Well, I
but-
take that
but-
back. They can call our hotline
And you can
because
help them.
we will safety plan with
Okay,
them,
there we
right?
go.
So safety planning. So if they have a phone, email, they can reach us and maybe get some resources if they have questions. When we think about safety planning, we go through everything. Like, we think about technology. Have you made extra keys, packed the bag, threw it in the trunk, possibly had a keyword with friends, all those different things. So to an extent, we can at least give them some tools. But in terms of kind of coming in physically, they would need to at least be in Ohio.
Okay.
Central Ohio.
All right. I just wanted to make sure we were clear because the people listen all over the place. So, but nonetheless, if they do need services, there's a hotline.
There is. It's a 24-hour, 7 days a week hotline. That number is area code 614-224-HOME. That's 224-4663.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
You may.
Actually, I have two, but the first one I'm going to ask.
Nikki Reber.
Yes, I'm Nikki. So I'm excited to be here and excited to sing for the event. One of my favorite things that you guys provide, so many of us are animal lovers.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that you guys have pet shelter within the shelter. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. So we partner with Columbus Humane. And so right on site, we have our kennel. And so we know a lot of times some survivors will not leave. They will not leave their furry baby. And so when they come in, they can bring their pets and they can stay there. We have visiting spaces. I'll tell you a really quick, cute story. So there was a survivor. She needed medical attention as she had been physically abused, and the pup that she had been abused as well. So we have these two officers. This is like a little after hours, and we have these two officers showing up at the door, and they have the pup in the little cage, and they're like, "We heard you take animals," and they said, "Well, the survivor is getting medical attention, but we didn't want to leave the pup." And we're like, "Oh yes, we have our kennel." And I said, "Okay, I can take the cage." And he said, "No, I want to make sure she gets where she's going." Like this big officer. And I was like, "Okay, sir." And I was like, "Well, just follow me." So we walked, back to our kennel area, and we have like a quarantine area. So when new animals come in, when the staff comes in, they can kind of check them out. But all services are free. Like if they need surgery or neutered or anything like that, the staff takes care of them at no charge. But yeah, it was the cutest thing seeing this officer carrying this little puppy kit or cage and taking it back to our kennel. So thanks for asking that.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good point.
And then the other thing I was going to ask is, not that I ever want to stop this, but as we have this platform and it's a little bit hot right now, what would you want us to share the most? What do you want people to know? How can we help in the most effective way?
Want to take that one?
Sure. Well, I think what you have been doing and reaching out, just sharing about choices, the fact that the resources are there, that it exists in the Columbus area, I think is just the number one thing. I've been with the organization just about a year and a half, and even when I started, and Columbus is my hometown, I didn't even realize that it was there. I think I vaguely knew that there were probably resources there, but that's been the best part of my job, is learning what LSS does, what Choice is able to do. So talking about it, sharing it. We'll have cards and information, I think, at the event too. Getting the word out for that, I think, is one of the most important things to do. And then the second thing is, if you are interested in supporting and helping, we have information we can give you about needs. So everything from clothing and basic hygiene items are things that are practical that we can use anytime to help our clients so they can feel, refreshed and safe, and, give them all a sense of, I guess, peace and dignity while they're here, and we can make them feel comfortable. And then, financial support too, as well, to keep hopefully maybe growing beds, giving us more space,
Yes.
and resources to have even more staff too, just to support as many people who need it.
Yeah, and then she didn't say volunteers.
Oh, that's right. Well, half of my job title. Yes. And then we have a volunteer program at Choices. So
Yes.
there's a training that I run, as well as some other requirements, but we need volunteers who want to come in and help us serve meals or work with our kids or just be a positive presence with people. I think having good interaction, just having fun, reminding people what it is to kind of take a deep breath and be with others in a positive way, so you can volunteer your time that way.
Yeah, and I think the last thing I'll ask is that we're doing the event next week, and then October is the National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, but awareness has to happen every month, right? It's not just isolated to September or October. So
Thank you for that. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Do we tell them how to donate or anything, or you have it on your?
Do we have a link that we can send for donations, or do you want to describe how folks should be
We do have
donating
a
at the
direct donation QR code that goes straight to our team. The Women of Rock does have a specific team because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We can share that as a link form so people can just click on it and it goes straight to the donation page that they can make the donation through. We are collecting items that night also, so you can drive on by, at any time and bring us personal care items, which is what they're in need of currently.
Gift cards.
Gift cards, Walmart, Target, gas cards.
yes.
Okay.
I will be posting. I can probably do it tomorrow. I made something about how to actually donate. So in the next week, we're really going to be pushing the social media piece of it, just so people are very clear on how they can give money. What's going to be going on at the event, how they can donate at the event, things like that. The actual event is a $15 cover that is going straight to the charity. So, your entry is actually going, straight to them. So.
Fantastic. And so it sounds like Facebook is a good place to be looking for information. And the page they should be looking for is called which one?
We have a Central Ohio Women of Rock event group. You could also go to Phoenix Rising C-Bus and Radio City Columbus. We do have the actual event on both of those pages, and there is a discussion that has all of the links and the information in that also.
Perfect.
We also have the Friends of Central Ohio Women Who Rock page. So there's basically 3 different places that, as we're posting, we're going to be posting in all 3 of those areas just to make sure that nothing is getting missed. Just because there's different people on each, page. So.
Absolutely. Nikki, did you get your second question in?
I did.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
And
Great question.
just we will be sharing just as much as we possibly can. So if any of you are friends with any of the Central Ohio Women Who Rock on Facebook, or anybody who knows any of the Central Ohio Women Who Rock on Facebook, you will be seeing this stuff. So please grab it, share it. Every time that you share it, it goes to more and more people. It's an exponential thing. So every little bit that you do helps.
And trust me, this is not an evening you want to miss. Especially if you like live music, you don't want to miss this event. And the cause is just one that is fantastic. So please come.
Absolutely. You good?
I think we're good.
All right. That was awesome.
We're just excited. We can't wait for it to get here.
A lot of hard work has gone to.
Yeah, it's so awesome to see it all coming to fruition, and for such a great cause too. And a great organization that you guys are providing these services towards. So,
Thank you.
Thank you for coming and making the time this evening to explain all this, and we're going to get the word out over the next week, right up to September the 6th. About what time, Kelly?
The event starts at 6:00.
But folks will be arriving earlier.
You can arrive early. Lazy Chameleon in Powell.
Yes.
They do have a large sand volleyball court. So if people want to bring chairs and set up their chairs in the volleyball court, you can totally do that. Lazy does have a full menu that night, so you can come have dinner, listen to the music, and donate to the charity. We will continue to raise money even after the event. So because October is Domestic Violence Awareness, we will still have our QR code that'll be active through October. So people can still donate even after that. So
You guys are just phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Amen.
I mean, seriously.
Well, it's a little. They call that a little speed bump in the financial forecast.
Yes.
But it's going to go for good purposes.
Trust me, we do the easy work. You guys do the tough.
Well, yes, yes. Well, we do want to, I'm putting it out there live. We do want to invite you guys to the shelter. So
for sure.
Don't cry.
For sure. Oh no, for
But
sure. For sure.
we, our management team. So when I started 2.5 years ago, I wanted to recognize our staff. So I make also, in addition to Domestic Violence Awareness Month, it's also Domestic Violence Appreciation Month for those that do the work. And so we have some things going on for the staff, like a luncheon, some activities, but then we also wanted to treat our residents. And so we had the idea of like setting up our dining area like a nice restaurant, and our staff are going to serve them. And we were thinking, I think Laura, you actually had the
We
idea
could do music. We could do music
that you
for
could
sure.
you could do some music.
We could for sure.
Like a night out, like we would have our staff take the kids, and it's just they have a night out
For sure.
And I think there was no better when we thought like, yeah, let's have some music. There was no one else that we thought of.
We
but
have
women
access
who-
to
but
a
women
lot of
who
musicians
rock.
now. So
But Women Who Rock, we said we want
It's
to
a big
invite
group.
them in.
It's a big group.
So if I'm putting the ask out there, not to put you on the spot, but we could talk about it later.
Yes.
Okay.
well, and I think we should
We don't have a
volunteer
date.
too. We'll volunteer.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
really when we
Excellent.
talk about the requirements, because we have children, you just can't be on the sex offender registry. So that's like the one thing our funders restrict. But
We're okay.
okay. Look, hold your breath.
No, I mean, as this has kind of evolved, we definitely, like, at least for myself, I'm like, the next step is getting people to go there and do things, so for sure.
Thank you. That was easy.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
We thought you'd never ask.
Yes.
I don't see this as a short term, hey, let's do this cool thing and then fade off into the sunset. I think that now that we're aware of you guys and what you do for people, we're with you.
Okay. Great.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we're marching towards September 6th, and that's like just about a week away.
Yeah.
And
Don't meet
7
us there.
days.
Beat us there.
She's our tagline, right?
I got them all.
thank you so much for making the time tonight, and we do appreciate everyone listening tonight. And we want to see everyone there that's listening that's can possibly be there September 6th at Lazy Chameleon by 6 o'clock. There's a whole night of music, and there's a whole opportunity to be giving to the LSS Choices organization, serving domestic violence situations, and help bringing a big impact to those that are in need of some help in those key moments in many lives. So thank you all.
Thank you, Len,
Episode
for having us on.
number 80. Number 80.
Hey, you know what the number 8 means?
I don't. Oh, infinity.
Yes, and new
Can't.
beginning.
And a new beginning. So there we
So
have
our new partnership.
it.
Choices and women, hurrah!
In the moons of the line for all that. That's
They
awesome.
have.
They have.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you September the 6th, 2024 at Lazy Chameleon. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.